What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 4, episode number 7, you guys. The episode is titled My Bloody Galentines, you guys. So before we jump into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and are not subscribed to the channel, I'm going to need you guys to do me that solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know you can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on the post notifications, and sharing the video, you guys. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let us discuss Love and Marriage Huntsville, shall we? All right, you guys, so this episode we open up, so we see Kimmy. So Kimmy is going down to Madani, Destiny's, business, right? So she's asking Destiny, like, what's up between you and Mel, right? And Destiny is saying that she doesn't necessarily know what's up with Mel, right? She's telling her about the last time that, she and Mel met up and how Mel was coming at her with things that were pretty much made up. Now, Destiny, I don't know if I would say they were made up, right? Because Mel came with those receipts, right? She came with the text messages showing that she had reached out to you, right? And this really could be a game. This could be a thing of semantics, right? It could be a thing of, Destiny may have meant, okay, yeah, she was texting me, but me and Melody, we talked on the phone every day. So we went from talking on the phone every day to you reducing me to a text message, right? So I got Destiny's point of view. I got what she was trying to convey, right? But at the same time, Mel was reaching out to you. You chose not to respond to her, right? And I guess, you can say that's because that's not their primary method of communication, right? So Kimmy then says, something seems different between, most times you guys have been able to come back together and reconcile, right? But something feels very different this time. And she says she felt like it's on both sides, right? And, Destiny was like, on both sides? She was like, yeah. She says, it feels different, right? It feels like you're a little bit more upset. She says, I don't know if I would say upset. She said something else, but she didn't say upset, right? She said she's annoyed, right? And she's annoyed because she feels like Mel is making up to her. And I've already expressed how I feel about that, right? So then she says that, remember, this all kind of stems from the reunion, right? And remember, here's the thing that I will say about this reunion. I don't really know who to believe when it comes to what was said versus what wasn't said, right? Like, I do believe Destiny to an extent. And I can also believe Mel, if that makes sense to you guys, and I'll explain why it makes sense. Why. So I say I believe Destiny because Destiny said that Melody told her that Tisha was the enemy or the op, right? And Mel has come out of her mouth and said that Tisha is the enemy / the op, right? But I also feel that Destiny may have said something about Mel. Now, do I think that it might have been, something like anything detrimental to Mel? No, right? But I do feel like she and Tisha were having a conversation about Melody because she said to herself she apologized if Mel felt that she was talking about her, right? Now, here's my thing when it comes to an apology, right? I would never say I'm sorry for something that I didn't do, right? If you believe that me and Tisha were talking about you, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know what, Mel, I'm sorry that you got that impression. Absolutely not, because if I wasn't talking about you, what I'll say is, okay, Mel, I hear what you're saying, right? But let me explain it to you. Like, me and Tisha were not talking about you. I'm not going to say, I know you and Tisha have a rocky relationship, right? So I wasn't over there bad-mouthing you. I just said XYZ I said XYZ. Now, should I have not said that to her? Quite possibly. I could have kept it, I could have talked to you about it, or I could have just let it be what it is, right? But I'm not going to sit here and apologize for something that I did not do or say. Just not who I am. So Kimmy's talking about, she wants to get the collective together, right? So that they can just sit down, talk, hash things out, and hopefully move forward. I was all here for Kimmy's plan, right? And it could have worked if some of the personalities came in with the mindset of, let's put the shit on the table, let's air it out. If we move forward, we move forward. If we decide that we just gonna let it, we gonna put it on the table, but going forward, We don't have to be friends. We can just be, we can be cordial with each other. I'd be better with that. But like I said, some of the personalities that met up for the party, they came on some bullshit, and we're gonna talk about that. So next up, we see Marceau. So Marceau, he stopped by Maurice's business, right? So he's talking to Maurice about, business is booming for him, right? So I think he has, technically, it sounds like he has 5 contracts, right? He has a guy coming to him, wanting him to build 3 hotels there, and 1 in Coleman. I don't know where Coleman is. I'm just saying it like I know where it is. And then also someone is coming to him, wanting him to build an apartment complex. I was like, okay, Marceau, get your money, buddy. Get your money. I can't hate on Marceau on that one, right? So then Marceau tells Maurice about Messitel coming to him, wanting to buy back into Scope. And I've told you guys how I feel about this plenty of times before, and I'm going to reiterate it. I would not do business with Messitel at all. I just couldn't do business with that man. And we're going to talk about him a little bit more in the review. I just wouldn't do business with him, right? So Marceau he still feels that Martel is different. And I'm just thinking to myself, what makes you feel that Martel is so different? What has Martel shown and proven to you that says he's different, he's changed? Martel is the same messy person that he's always been, right? What it is with Martel now is Martel doesn't have anybody in his corner or on his side. He needs allies, right? He needs people to help him in business. Without that builder's license, Martel has nothing. So he's like a leech. He's sucking the energy from everyone else. He's taking from people, right? Now he could be, he might be bringing you business, right? But you could also, especially with the people who have these general contractor license, all their licenses, the business that he's bringing to them, they can actually go out and get that business themselves instead of Martel coming and them having to give him a split. So yeah, Martel is a leech at this point, right? So we found out a little bit more about, remember, Tisha is a majority owner in Scope, right? And the reason is that because Tisha owned an apartment complex in 2010 that she sold, and she bought Martel out. I was like, okay, so y'all can say Tisha is dumb and naive and whatnot, but she's not that dumb and she's not that naive, right? That woman had an apartment complex, she sold it, and she bought Martel out of Scope. So she's the majority owner in Scope, and she has the final say so, right? So she ain't that dumb. She's not that dumb. I don't think that Letitia is dumb. I don't think she's dumb. I just think she. What do I think about Letitia? Because I don't think she's dumb. I would say for me, I'm not gonna say she's naive. I'm gonna say she's a little gullible, which is kind of the same thing. But I just think she's a little gullible, especially when it comes to Marceau. But from what we're seeing, she holds all the power, right? So Marceau is also thinking about the fact of doing a joint business venture with Martel with Destiny Salon Suites, right? If it works out, it works out. But like I said before, me personally, I just wouldn't do any kind of business with Martel. It just wouldn't be for me. It just wouldn't be something that I could say, yeah, he's done all this stuff to me, but let me go and work with him. I couldn't do it. But he says he's not, right now, buying back into Scope is not an option because he doesn't have his builder's license. It shouldn't be an option ever. But hey, it is what it is. Let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. All right, you guys, so next up we see Mel. So Mel is going to therapy, and I'm happy that she's doing therapy, right? I think they all could benefit from some therapy, especially her and her family. They could all benefit from some therapy. She says she's meditating. I'm gonna leave it at that. Do I believe Mel is meditating? Not necessarily. So then she's talking about, the group, right? And how, so she addressed Tisha and Destiny as energy vampires. The contradiction. I like Mel to an extent. But Mel, you're playing in my face at this point. You want to sit here and call Tisha and Destiny energy vampires? You're an energy vampire as well. You're one as well. So pot meet kettle. So then she's talking about how when it comes to a conversation, she's open. And I was just thinking to myself, what conversations have you had where you're open? I haven't saw Melody at all. Even in the last part of this episode, Mel wasn't even open to the conversation. She was passive aggressive. And I'm going to get to that. But I'm like, Mel, when have you ever been open in a conversation? Like, like everything that Mel was saying in this therapy session, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it was coming off like a big, huge contradiction to me. Huge contradiction. The energy vampires. You gotta look in the mirror and own up to the fact that you're an energy vampire as well. You're not open when it comes. You're not open when it comes to conversations, right? You're not. You're very confrontational. Let's be real. Because if someone goes into, you're confrontational, but at the same time you're passive aggressive. Those two things don't say that I'm open to a conversation. Someone who's open to a conversation, they go into it thinking, okay, you wait. Now, someone who's open to a conversation, you could still weigh the pros and the cons. You know, it could go really well or it can go really bad. But if you're open to the conversation, you go into it saying, hey, whatever happens, happens. But we're going to have this conversation. That ain't you, Mel. But hey, go off. So then we see Messy Tail, right? So he met up with Fred. And he's bringing Fred some business, right? And this is the thing that I was talking about earlier with about Marceau. Martell is just literally using people, right? He doesn't have the builder's license, right? So he can't really, he can go out and get the work, but he can't do the work because he doesn't have the proper protocol to, you know, see the project through, right? And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, why are y'all dealing with him, right? And I feel like with Chris and Fred, I feel like for Chris and Fred, it might be a thing of, you know, they're on television, right? They're filming a show. This will put our business out there so people will come and work with us, right? But as I always say, all publicity is not good publicity, right? Because like I said, Martell is using you guys, right? And at the same token, they're using him to put their business out there. But again, this man has no builder's license, right? So he's and if you listen to it, it's kind of like he's a broker, right? He goes out and brokers the deal with the clients, right? And he brings the deal back to them. Why don't y'all just cut out the middleman, which is Martell? Because at that point, when he brokers a deal, he's gonna want a percentage of it, right? But you're the one who literally is going to be doing all the work because he doesn't have a builder's license, right? And he even said it in this scene. Why does he need a builder's license, right? He feels he doesn't need a builder's license because he got a sucker basically doing all the work for him. He goes out, gets the contract, bring it back to you. You do all the work. He does nothing, but he reaps the benefits, right? Absolutely not. Now, I want to bring this up because I've been seeing this on social media a lot lately about Martell, right? Because I've heard a lot of people say that the reason that there's a particular reason that Martell can't get his business license. And if you guys know if this is true or not, please chime in the comment section, right? But I've heard that Martell and some of his family members have criminal records, right? And that is what's keeping him from getting his builder's license, right? Now, I don't know if it's like a felony, a misdemeanor, or what, right? But I've heard those rumors that he has a little criminal background, and that background check is not going to clear, so that's why he can't get the builder's license. But you guys can chime in the comment section and let me know if that is true or if it's false. Honestly, I don't care, but I do see what Martell is doing. Martell is using Chris and Fred to get he's getting the business for them. When 9 times out of 10, they probably don't need Martell, but hey, it is what it is. Let's pause here and move forward and wrap up the episode, you guys. All right, you guys. So we got this party with that Kimmy is doing. It's called Galentine's Day, right? So it's just celebrating your girlfriends, right? So we see her and Tiffany there. They're talking. Tiffany's behind the bar. And then Tisha shows up in this Team Wife shirt, which I don't understand why she had on a Team Wife shirt. But hey, if Tisha likes it, I love it, right? She also had on her tennis shoes. I'm like, Tisha must have knew something was gonna happen at this party, because why did you come there with your tennis shoes on? It's supposed to be celebrating your girlfriends, right? Why don't you come in a nice dress? I mean, you can have your Team Wife shirt on and your bubblegum pants, but you ain't have a good pair of heels to go with that. Tisha came ready for some bullshit, right? And then I kept looking at that shirt, Team Wife. I'm like, is that a dig? Because it came off to me as a dig. Let me know what you guys think, right? So she brought up Melody's party, right? And how she was a topic of conversation at the party, right? And Kimmy was like, well, I'm hoping that without angst, we can address it and, basically leave it where it is, right? So she also then tells Tisha that, at this party, can we refrain from saying girl? So Tisha says, can I say bitch? She says, no. So Melody was late as well as Destiny was late, right? Now, I don't necessarily know if Kimmy invited Stormy. I don't know if she invited Stormy, right? But not Destiny. Melody and Stormy showed up, right? So Melody, her and Stormy, they embraced Kimmy and Kimmy and Destiny. Damn it, can I get my people together today? Melody and Stormy came in and they addressed Kimmy and Tiffany, right? Now, Melody in her confession was like, when I came in, I spoke to Kimmy and to Tiffany, but Tisha, she didn't even address me. And I'm sitting here like, why would she address you? You've called this woman the op and your enemy, right? If you my enemy and my op, and we had the same event together with each other, I'm not gonna feel no type of way if you don't speak to me, right? That's your business, right? I don't care. So I don't understand why Mel cared, right? Once again, she's your op, she's your enemy. So what does she need to speak to you for, right? Cool. I didn't understand her, right? So then, Destiny shows up, right? So they sit down and Kimmy has the ladies write down on a piece of paper a misconception about them and something, tell something about themselves, right? Each one of them said something. I can only remember the misconceptions. Destiny's not aggressive. Tisha's not naive. Melody is not selfish. I don't care about Stormy. I miss somebody. Destiny, she's not aggressive. Letitia, she's not naive. Melody, she's not selfish. Oh, and Tiffany, she's not messy. Tiffany, you are messy. Destiny, oh, you do come off a little bit aggressive. I hate to say it. But you do sometimes come off a little bit, just a little bit. And I know we ain't supposed to say that about black women, right? But you do come off just a little bit. You do. Melody, you are selfish. Tisha, you might not be naive, but you come off that way. You come off that way, right? And I can't remember, like I said, I can't remember what the other thing that they said about themselves were. And Stormy, I don't really give a shit what she wrote, because Stormy to me is irrelevant. Stormy is irrelevant, and I don't know why Stormy was here, right? So Tisha, she came with the shit automatically. She said, at the last party, I heard that I was a topic of conversation, me and my husband. And, Kiki, she had told me that you was trying to get her to talk about my husband. And Melody was like, that did not happen. You know what? Let me call her up. Hey, girl. So, Kiki, you on speakerphone. So Be honest. Be honest. I said honest. Honest? Okay. Country. I get it. There are certain words that I say in the English diction, in the English vocabulary, that sometimes may sound a little off because of my country dialect, right? So, if you guys listen to the conversation, Melody, Stormy, and Kiki, right? They all want to. So Kiki wants to say that they didn't really mention Letitia and Marceau, right? They didn't really just bring them up. And I was like, y'all were talking about the picture, right? And then the picture then segued to Marceau, and then it segued to the fact that Letitia has heard things about Marceau, right? But she doesn't believe it. So that sounds like a bit of a lie to me, right? So then Stormy says that basically Stormy was defending Mel, saying Mel wasn't saying anything about Letitia, but it was Kiki, right? But it was a collective. Let's stop playing semantics, right? Because y'all all were talking about that woman. Like, let's stop playing a fucking game like y'all were not talking about her. You all were talking about her with the exception of Kimmy. Kimmy is the only one that was like, I don't think we should be having this conversation. Kimmy is the only person, and Kimmy even chimed in to talk to Kiki, right? Basically, like I said, they're all lying, and they're basically trying to say, well, we weren't really talking about you like that. We were talking about the picture. But again, you were talking about the picture, but the picture then segued into y'all having a conversation about her marriage. It's some fake-ish going on, right? So then, after they hung up with the phone with Kiki, right? Now, granted, I had heard this, that Mel had said that she had knew Kiki years before she knew Tisha, right? And Tisha said, that's cool, right? But you and I were friends. You and Kiki were never friends. And Mel even, she said it. Kiki and I don't text every day. That's not something we do. We don't hang out like that, right? I was like, so y'all don't text every day. Y'all don't talk every day. Y'all don't hang out like that. So that means that you did, in fact, invite that woman to your party to be messy and talk about her cousin. That's the snake shit that I don't get with. Like, don't like, if you're not that cool with my cousin, why are you inviting her around and having conversations with her about me? That's fake as hell. And that's why I said in a previous review, Kiki Melody is not your friend. She's using you. So, excuse me, y'all. So then at one point, they started talking about they're still talking about the party, right? So Destiny chimes in talking about the reason that, why Mel didn't invite her. So she repeated what Kimmy had told her, and she says, is that what you said, Mel? And Mel was like, you're talking to me? Melody, she was looking straight at in your face. Passive aggressive shit that I just cannot stand. So then Mel said, well, because Destiny's like, you said that it was because I was talking to your aunt. Well, it was multiple issues than that. And Tisha was like, what is an op? And Kimmy was like, well, in the military, that means the opposition, right? But here's my question. What has Tisha done to become her op? And I know people are going to say, oh, she was talking about her at the reunion. Carlos asked a question at the reunion. Tisha answered the question. Mel didn't like the response. Mel could have said something then, but she chose not to. Mel chose to hang on to it. Like, let's not play that game. Y'all know I don't see it for Tisha, but yes, she said something at the reunion, but Mel could have said something right then, right there, and silenced it and dead at the situation, right? She didn't. She chose to hang on to that, right? So then Destiny says, but you invited her cousin to your party. Mel was like, but her cousin hasn't talked about her about me to her. Mel, I'm just gonna circle back to what you said earlier in the episode, in this scene, right? You said that you and Kiki don't talk like that. Y'all don't hang out like that, right? you do realize that that is being messy, inviting your quote unquote ops cousin to your party, right? That's her family. That's her cousin. You invited her flesh and blood, but you got an issue with Destiny being friends with her. Like Destiny said, make it make sense, because it really didn't make sense at all to me. So then Stormy decides she wants to chime in, and I'm just like, girl, you need to sit over there and have several seats and mind your business, right? Because Stormy really got on my nerves toward the end, because this is the end of the episode. Stormy really got on my nerves because she kept chiming in. She kept asking Destiny what the issue is between she and Mel. And the one thing I will say is consistent with Destiny, she keeps saying she doesn't know. Ask Mel. I don't know. Ask Mel. I don't know. Ask Mel. I'm asking you. Ask Mel. I don't know. I'm asking you. Ask Mel. She keeps saying, ask Mel. I don't know what the issue is. Mel has the issue, not me. You need to address Mel, right? So then, once again, Tisha chimed in, right? And Mel says, bitch, I'm not talking to you. And I was like, wow, Mel, you called her a bitch. Baby, she jumped up out that seat. I'm not going to be no bitch. I'm like, are we about to fight? This is turning into Love and Hip Hop a little bit, right? So they calmed that down. And I was on Tisha's side, right? Because Kimmy is trying to calm it down. But, you know, Tisha's like, she called me a bitch. And then Mel says, but, you know, it's the girl stuff. Because at one point, Destiny did say girl to her, right? And, you know, Kimmy says, I addressed that when they got here. No girls. Don't say girl, right? So then they got that down. So then they're sitting there talking. And this is one of the times where Destiny, like I said, the A word, I'm not going to say it out loud, but you came off a little bit, you know, you came off that word that I'm not going to say. You came off a little bit like that, right? Because when Mel said you guys had a friendship, she said, oh, we had a friendship? I was like, oh, God, Destiny, let her speak, let her speak, let her speak. Let her speak. Let her speak. And it's so funny, right? Because Mel, in her scene with her therapist, right, she was talking about the fact that, you know, people can be mouthy, so she gives them the same energy that they give her. In this scene, nobody came at you mouthy. It was you that started it, right? You called Tisha a bitch. You started that. Once again, energy vampire. Energy vampire, right? So then Kimmy told Destiny, like, you coming at me and I ain't done you shit, right? And she, you know what, Kimmy, you right. I got you. So she said, Mel, go ahead and finish. And Storm was like, I wouldn't go after that. I was like, nobody asked you. Sit over there and shut up. You and your frizzy hair, sit over there and shut the fuck up. That's all I want you to do is just shut up. Shut up. And then her and Destiny got into it. And that's when, you know, Destiny and her just hopped up. I'm like, it's a lot of bitches flying around. And for me, it's a lot of bitches that was flying around. But that's where we ended, with Destiny and Stormy going at each other, right? But let me know what you guys thought about the episode. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, share the video, and until the next time, you guys stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, wear a mask, socially distance, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys later on for Real Housewives of Atlanta and the season finale of Candy and the Gang. And I'm thinking about doing that new show, Love Match Atlanta. I'm gonna watch it, see if I like it, and then we'll go from there. But until then, you guys,